terms of the agenda that he chooses to put forward. But I've not personally advocated for that.
I'm over time. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Chair, and thank you so much to the witnesses for being here today. I just have a couple of questions. Those questions are for Mrs. Lucas, and I'm really happy to be able to ask a few questions today because in this administration's words, I really believe we need radical transparency when it comes to individuals who will be entrusted with enforcing civil rights protections. Now, your Twitter bio says that you are, and I quote, advancing colorblind equality. But in September of 2023, you voted against authorizing litigation against Tesla for racial discrimination. In that case, the commission alleges, and I realize that 3 of the 5 did eventually vote to advance that case to litigation. But it alleges that since 2015, Black employees at Tesla's Fremont manufacturing plant have routinely endured widespread, ongoing, and I would say egregious racial harassment. So I wonder if you can just tell us about your vote. Why did you vote against remedying this pervasive and unlawful hostile work environment?
Thank you for the question. While I can't answer your question directly because I can't breach confidentiality or deliberative privilege, I can say that I have voted for numerous cases involving egregious racial harassment that has been brought against workers of all races, Black, white, Asian, Hispanic. It doesn't matter who they are. No one should be judged by the color of their skin. I approach each litigation matter that we vote on based on the specific facts before us and the law as it applies. So that is the global way I approach everything. It's inherently
Okay, no, I'm not asking you to breach any privilege here. This was a public vote that was taken. I'm not asking you to comment on the litigation itself. I'm just interested in what your own thoughts are that caused you to take that public vote. And I note that you have spoken about some of the other internal decisions, talking about which ones were unanimous, for example. So you have spoken out about some of what happened internally. So I'm not asking about the litigation. I'm asking about, in your own mind, your public vote that you were taking. Can you just explain what you used to make that decision?
Again, respectfully, Senator, I can acknowledge specific votes. I can acknowledge when I've made a dissent public. I can acknowledge if a vote count, but I cannot talk about the deliberative privilege that went into a particular decision to vote in a particular manner on a litigation matter.
I think it's interesting to call it deliberative privilege. I mean, it is what your mindset is regarding the information you heard. And in this case, a federal judge allowed that EEOC case to proceed, saying that the complaint had done more than enough to demonstrate the racial harassment at the plant, and the culture in this Tesla workplace was so hostile and so pervasive that Black workers at the plant were repeatedly being subjected to racial slurs, including the N-word, racist graffitis, cartoons, and even more offensive nooses that were being hung throughout the factory. And this is one you voted against. And so the reason I'm asking this question is I am concerned about whether, if this doesn't rise to the level of a Title VII Civil Rights Act violation, I just wonder whether you can, explain to me, in your own mind, why didn't this rise to the level of a Title VII violation?
Again, respectfully, every litigation matter consists of presentations by career staff and the internal workings of the commission. I cannot reveal the information that was provided to us, the matters that we concluded, the factors that we bring. All of those things are protected by privilege. I can point to my voting record on behalf of any number of Black workers who I have been proud to vote in support of litigation filed on their behalf, including ones involving nooses, including slurs, including the use of the N-word. I have no bar against any of those fact patterns rising to it, but each case is inherently a fact-dependent, legally dependent matter.
Okay, so 2 more just quick questions on that then. Is it that you then commit here in this hearing not to deprioritize racial discrimination cases as chair? Is that what you would say? Would you say that you would be able to appropriately use Title VII in all cases of discrimination, including racial discrimination?
I am absolutely committed to combating race discrimination in every single form and have filed lawsuits and supported lawsuits on behalf of workers of every single race, Black, white, Asian, Hispanic, it doesn't matter. No one should be judged on basis of their skin color.
Okay, thank you. Just one final yes or no. You know, I know that already you've moved the EEOC to dismiss some of its own lawsuits against employers. So then will you commit here today to continuing to litigate this case until its conclusion?
The decision about whether or not to pursue or continue any decision is something that we'll have to assess at each particular moment. I can't commit to continuing any particular case. It
Even
will
this
depend.
very heinous Tesla case, you're saying?
Again, each case will have to, it will be fact dependent at the time.
Thank you.
I ask for you to enter several letters of support for the nominees into the record, and as chairman, I grant that consent. For any senator wishing to ask